On the 7th of April in the year 2025, Mufti Menk put up a tweet on X, which apparently is harmless, and he didn't make any Sharia violations. But apparently, a lot of people had many scores to settle with him. One of them is Daniel Haqiqatjou. Here is what he has to say on the post of Mufti Menk. But before I play his video, let's quickly read what Mufti Menk actually tweeted. He said, "I never thought human beings in this day and age would actively unalive entire communities in the most barbaric way, with the whole world watching, unable to do a thing about it. The extent of brutality is way beyond imagination. All this only to steal strategically located land. If peace is what you really want, then this will only ever make matters worse. Enough is enough." This is the tweet of Mufti Menk. Now let's hear what Daniel has to say about it.
Mufti Menk, I never thought human beings in this day and age would actively unalive entire communities in the most barbaric way. Unalive. With the whole world watching, unable to do a thing about it. The extent of brutality is way beyond imagination. All this only to steal strategically located land? If peace is what you really want, then this will only ever make matters worse. Enough is enough. So he's being roasted in the replies.
Okay. The first very important aspect I would like us to pay attention to is the fact that Daniel said he's being roasted online. Mufti Menk has been roasted in the comment section, in the reactions to his tweet. Now, but let's take a look at this. That is actually playing on a psychological emotion of the listeners. It doesn't actually matter, or it is not actually needed for him to say Mufti Menk was being roasted. No, he should have just presented his own objections to the post. What violations has Mufti Menk committed with that post he put up, with the tweets? Actually, he did not commit anything. He did not make any violations against the Sharia. That is one. Second aspect of the manipulation which Daniel Haqiqatjou has done for Mufti Menk is that he never mentioned that a lot of people actually applauded that tweet. In fact, some notable scholars actually commented under that tweet to give a thumbs up and also to decipher the codes in his post. He did not mention that. So his whole attention is focused on those who roasted Mufti Menk. And he also never mentioned that those who roasted Mufti Menk are just laymen. They are mostly laymen, to avoid overgeneralization. They are mostly laymen. While those who applauded Mufti Menk, they were notable people and scholars amongst them. So let's continue with what he actually has to say.
For this tweet, and the tweet has gone viral because he can't name Israel. You can't say Israel. You can't criticize Israel by name.
So he said Mufti Menk can't name Israel. He can't criticize Israel by name. So which means he actually affirms, he also acknowledges the fact that Mufti Menk criticized Israel with the post. That post is a criticism of Israel. But his own objection is the fact that Mufti Menk never mentioned Israel by name. And one important fact I want to call the attention of every Muslim youth listening to this or watching me right now is that as a Muslim, a constructive Muslim, you don't pick up offenses with the way people help the deen, with the way they offer solutions, assistance to the cause of Islam. No. for as long as they are not under any obligation to do it a certain way, you are also doing it your own way. Someone might just come up also to criticize Daniel. Why are you not calling for the of Israeli embassies? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? And that will be a misplaced criticism. And if we allow such, if you say, oh, that is the viewpoint of that person, if we allow such narrative to continue, we are going to end up with chaos in the Muslim community. So it doesn't work that way. So you criticizing him for not criticizing Israel in a particular manner does not actually make any sense. You may criticize him for not criticizing Israel, because Israel in this particular situation is an oppressor against the Palestinians. So, which is well justified. We say if he is not criticizing Israel, if he is not criticizing Israel at all, not even publicly or privately, so you cannot attack him for not criticizing Israel publicly. No. The only thing you can say is he is not criticizing Israel. If you have evidence for that. If you don't have evidence for it, no. Don't say, why are you not criticizing Israel publicly? Because it doesn't have to. His private criticism or some other works, underground works, might even be better than what you do publicly. So let's continue.
And if you search tweets by Mufti Menk, he's literally never said the word Israel, as far as people can tell, in any of his tweets. He has how many million followers? Like 10.8 million followers. And he has how many tweets? Probably thousands and thousands of tweets.
Another point he's using against Mufti Menk is that he said Mufti Menk has literally never mentioned Israel. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to mention Israel. You do not know the nomenclature he's working with, the standards he's working with. He doesn't have to mention Israel. He doesn't have to. Someone might also come up and say Daniel Haqiqatjou has never done a video to criticize a certain group or to mention them by name, or has never paid attention to them as much as he does for others. Does that mean he's in support? No. This might be due to some personal calculations where he thinks his strength lies. If his strength lies in criticizing a certain set of people, then there is no problem. We don't criticize in such way. The Ummah is in a critical situation now. We have a communal effort. Very few people are contributing to it. Then the few who are contributing, we need to encourage them. We need to motivate them. We are in a situation where we motivate people to contribute, not standing somewhere to criticize the manner or the quantity of contribution. No. We actually criticize those who are not contributing at all, not those who are contributing what they can.
Can't say one thing about Israel and uses words like unalive, like you can't say killed, slaughtered, massacred.
Okay, he also picked offense with the fact that Mufti Menk used the word unalive instead of kill, slaughter, and the likes. You see, I'm very sure Daniel is not naive to the social media community. In fact, people who are not connected in any way with religious discussions, they do avoid using the word KILL. Even comedians, skit makers, everyone who is conversant with social media algorithm will know that words like that are usually downplayed. The algorithm downplays content that contain words like that. So even people who are not into religious discussion, they avoid using it. In fact, earlier, until I saw that particular word from Mufti Menk, I thought the word unalive started in Nigeria, because it is so common with Nigerians. They always avoid using that word Kill. They would rather say unalive, because it is not actually an English word, so the algorithm does not recognize it for now. So something like that might also be the reason Mufti Menk avoided it, and probably he has other better reasons. But the fact is that he passed his message, and the wise ones were able to decode his message.
Bombed. No, you have to say unalived. Strategically located lands, like you can't say Palestine. Is peace? If peace is what you
the same
really
thing
want,
applies to using strategically located land without using Palestine. Everyone knows that posts, tweets, and content online that contain the word Palestine and the likes, they are usually downplayed by the algorithm. They are given lesser visibility. So if you actually have a tangible message to pass and you want it to get across to as much as possible audience, and you can do without those words, why not?
Are we at that level of naivete? Like, oh, I thought Israel wanted peace. I thought Israel wanted peace, but they're unaliving people for strategically located land. That's not very peaceful now, is it? So these are the kinds of...
Yeah, Daniel Haqiqatjou, unfortunately, is making use of one of his unpopular strategies of turning important discussions into mockery. So when he mocks people, he makes whatever argument they have appear as stupid as anything. So this is wrong. There is nothing comic in what Mufti Menk wrote. He passed it with a very serious tone, and people got it right. So you don't have to turn it into a joke. This is very wrong.
Of compassionate imams.
Then he gave Mufti Menk his label.
Consumed by
He gave
millions
him
of
the
Muslims.
label, compassionate
What do you
imams.
think this produces? And you think it's like a coincidence that he doesn't mention Israel? Like, this was the controversy from 2 years ago. If you look, we produced a video, reaction to Mufti Menk's explanation of Israel normalization iftar. He had iftar in Ramadan a couple of years ago with one of these diplomats is a rabbi from Israel in the UAE. Mufti Menk is going to the UAE and he's having iftar with this Israeli rabbi, who's one of the official rabbis. And here you can see smiling, shaking hands. So, I wonder why can't Mufti Menk say Israel in a tweet? He has to leave the name Israel out, and he has to say unaliving for strategically located land. So these are the type of compassionate imams that the Ummah has promoted, has celebrated with all kinds of wealth, money, status, prestige, fame.
Yes. So finally, to justify his position against Mufti Menk and his opposition to his post, he had to bring something which apparently appears so wrong and un-Islamic. At least apparently. I'm not being conclusive with it. So apparently it is very wrong for him to have such a gathering with someone who is at war with the Muslims in a certain part of the world. But the fact that he did something wrong someday, somewhere, or a few years ago, does not make every other thing he does to be wrong automatically. That is a very fallacious argument. It's a very weak argument to say because he did something wrong 2 years ago, or even a few days ago, actually means what he did today is also wrong. It doesn't work that way. And He kept on mentioning compassionate imams. There is nothing compassionate in the post, in the tweets of Mufti Menk. There is no compassion in it. He was straight to the point and he hit the nail on the head without mentioning names. And what actually matters is people getting the message, not the name. If he mentions the name, what difference is that going to make? Except for the dumbest fellow, which I doubt such category of people are online or on Twitter reading tweets, would read this post, this tweet, and fail to decode the message therein. No, I doubt the existence of such. So for as long as people can understand the message and the criticism goes to the right direction, then there is no point in picking up a fight, picking up an offense with him for not doing it the way you like. So finally, I will pass my advice across to the Muslim youth. This type of narrative from Daniel Haqiqatjou is something that resonates with a lot of Muslim youths, most especially the adolescents. And we end up boiling up a lot of tension within the Muslims, within the sects, in fact, within the same sects, but different organizations. We end up eating up the polity, the atmosphere, which does not help our situation at all. We end up pointing fingers. This imam is not serious. This imam is not compassionate. This imam is compassionate. This imam is not straight to the point. While we should be focused on gathering all the little efforts and building the mountain with the grains. That is what we should be doing. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make this message get across, most especially to Daniel. I've always called his attention to so many things. I've written posts, I've tagged him in it, which I hope you would have seen so many times. This video also, I pray it gets across to him, because the type of unity he has been calling for recently, his message here actually betrays it totally. Subhanakallahumma nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Medina Online Madrasa, we are booming. Learn Quran Arabic. No dulling, inside your room. Call or WhatsApp 08133 258671. Al Medina Day for you.